Hey, it's Andrew here from Harmony Music Center, and today I wanted to make a video on the great Beatles song, Let It Be. Just a little side note about this song. The song was written by Paul McCartney at a time where there was a lot of upheaval in the Beatles, and he was uncertain about where things were going and what was going to happen. And one night he was asleep, and his mother, who I believe had died sometime before that, came to him in a dream. And his mother's name was Mary. And so, and in the dream, his mother said to him, "Let it be, just let it be." And so he woke up and this song had come to him in the dream. And so the first line, "When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me," is his mother coming to him in this dream and just telling him to let it be. And he said that that was really healing, just, for him to just let things be and see what developed, and life went on. So, okay, this great song is a piano song. It's not a guitar song. So these chords and other different riffs and parts are adapted from the piano. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to go over a pretty simple beginning way to play this song, and then we'll go forward and at the end we'll add in some of the licks and riffs and other cool things. So wherever you're at, if you're just starting out, you can work on the beginning chords, and then if you're more advanced, you can add those other elements as you go along. Okay, so this chord is in the key of C, but if we capo the guitar at the 5th fret, then the chords are a little bit easier to play. And what I like to do in classes is to give out two versions of this, one capoed at the 5th fret and one in open. Just in open position without the capo. And we'll be playing the same chords, but they just have a little bit different tonality to them, even though they're the same chords. And so we'll start out with the capo on the 5th fret. And like I said, it's in C, but if we're playing a G chord here, that's actually a C chord. You don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to talk about the chords, the regular form. We'll call this G. And so here's the chord sequence to this. G, D, E minor, C, G, D, C, G. And so there's an intro that does that once or twice, goes through that chord sequence, and then it comes into the verse. And the verse sounds like this. I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. So, and then it has a second line to that verse, and then it goes into the chorus. And the chords of the chorus are, we're ending the last line of the verse on this G chord, and we just kind of will ring out from that verse, and we'll start the chorus singing on that G, and then quickly switch to an E minor. So it starts with the G, and then it's E minor, D, C, G, D, and so I'm just going to sing the last part of the verse and then go into the chorus so you can see how it transitions from that G chord into the E minor. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. That's pretty much it for the verses and the chorus. And then in the middle of the song there is a guitar lead, but that lead just goes over the same chords as the intro. G, D, E minor, C, G, D, and C, and then G, and it does that twice. So that is it, capoed at the 5th fret. Now, if we take the capo off the 5th fret and we just do it in open, this is another way to play it. You'll hear it has a slightly different tonality. Here's the intro chords. Now we're going C, G, A minor, F, C, G, it's F and C, the last two chords there. So the capoed at the 5th fret, you get to avoid the dreaded F chord. And if you do it open, you've got to contend with that F chord. So, yeah, I think what I will do now is I'll show you some of these cool little riffs and licks. The song starts out with this little riff. So what that is, I am playing at the 10th fret, I am barring the G and the B strings, and I'm playing those two strings together. And then I'm coming down to the 9th fret on the G string and the 8th fret on the B string, playing those together. Sliding that down 2 frets, so we're on the 7th fret of the G string, the 6th fret of the B string, and then we come back to the 5th fret of the G and B string. So that sounds like this. Once again. So when you play two strings together like that, which is a really common lead mechanism, it's called a double stop. I don't know how it got that name, but it's called a double stop, and it's very common, and it's a really nice tool to have. Now it goes up to the 9th fret on the D string and the 7th fret on the G string together, those two together, and then sliding down 2 frets to the D string 5th fret, 7th fret, I'm sorry, and the G string 5th fret. And then we're going to slide the first finger down to the 4th fret of the G string, and then the 5th fret of the D string. And then slide that down to the 2nd fret of the G string and 3rd fret of the D string. And so that will sound like this. And then it ends just on the single note 2nd fret of the D string. So the whole thing sounds like this. Does that for the introduction, and then it comes into the chords, and then in the middle of the song, before the guitar solo, after the chorus and before the guitar solo, it does that again, and then it does another series of double stops. It comes up to well, it sounds like this. And that is, we're coming up to the 14th fret of the G string and 13th fret of the B string together, and then the 12th fret of the G and B strings together. Then we slide that down to the 10th fret on those two strings. And then we're coming down to the 9th fret and 8th fret of the G and B strings. Sliding that down to the 7th and 6th fret. And then the 5th fret of the G and B strings. So that, so on those two strings. The 3rd and 4th strings and go to the 9th and 7th frets, Slide that down to the 7th and 5th fret. And then we slide up to the 10th fret and the 9th fret. So once again, it sounds like this. I like to slide up. And then it comes into the chords that the guitar solo plays over, and it's just the same chords as the intro, the C. So if you're playing it in the open position, the other thing is that little end tag at the end of a lot of the phrases, where it is it's on the F chord, and you don't have to bar the F there. It actually will make it harder if you're barring, so you can kind of play it like F major 7. But really what you're doing is you're playing the 4th and the 3rd string, the D and the G string, on the 3rd fret of the D string and the 2nd fret of the G string. You pluck those two strings together, and then so it is the 3rd fret of the D string, 2nd fret of the G string. Then we take that off and we put the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then we play the open G string, and then just the open D string, and then we come to a C. So it'll sound like, speaking words of wisdom. I'm sorry, wrong chords there. Speaking words of wisdom. Here it is. So actually we're playing those two strings for for those different sections of that. The 3rd and the 2nd frets, the 2nd fret of the D string and the open G string, and then both the D and the G strings open, and then we come to the C chord. So that's good. If you're doing it capoed at the 5th fret, you would really do a very similar thing, but instead of doing it like that, you would do it on a C chord. And so you would do the same things, but just one string up. So the 5th and the 4th string on the C, and then you would do the 5th string 2nd fret and the open 4th string, and then you would do both those strings open, and then you would come to end on a G chord. And the way the song ends, it ends on a there's a chorus. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. So that's Let It Be. Enjoy. I think I'll play the whole song through, and then if you want, you can always come back to this and play it with me. Play it along with me. That's a good way to practice it. So here we go. Myself in times of trouble, other Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my